as bizarre as the Generation 2 Transformers were, at least a fair portion of it was interesting. Generation 2 Laser Rod Sizzle, today on Guerrilla Reviews. Sizzle here, one of 4 laser rods, obviously part of the Generation 2 Decepticons with the symbol on there. It's definitely a rat rod vibe here, and I had a very interesting gimmick for the laser part of it. You see, this part right here has an LED light. Now, when it's connected to the engine part, it would glow up when you press these parts would when you press down on the button here, maybe even the headlights, maybe. That gimmick doesn't work anymore. I've tried changing the batteries and no luck. Unfortunate, but without a more advanced version of electronics and how that works, I'm kind of stuck with what I got right here, which isn't a bad thing. Now, 4 additional gimmicks in the car mode. We do have something of a suspension here, which might have been also used to turn on the light. And yes, we do also have weapon storage here. And I did check, this is indeed Sizzle's sword. And when you plugged it in the hand, well, along with this red LED, it would go red. Yes, I know that the Generation 2 Optimus Prime also had this same gimmick. And, well, it kind of had the same fate as the laser rods and the laser cycles, now that I think of it. Now, I will take a note about the decoration. Yeah, this is some 90s business we're dealing with here, but you're certainly not going to find anything else like it. As wild and bizarre as the colorations were for the Generation 2 figures, at least it was eye-catching. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but you won't mistake it for anything else. Moving on to transformation, we'll start by removing the sword. Set this right there. Disconnect the LED. Bring this part down. Partially, because then we need to fold out the legs, fold out the arms. We'll just kind of put the LED in here. And yes, it is a red LED. If you can see it right there. Okay. Go, fold out the feet. Sword in the hand. And there we go. Sizzle, robot mode. And here in robot mode, we do see some very minimal but effective detail here. Yeah, it's a hood-chested robot, not a big surprise there. But no door wings, so that's something nobody is a con, so that's probably more of an Autobot thing. And he certainly wears the kibble well. And yeah, the battery compartment is here. I have replaced the batteries with the closest equivalent, no dice, which is unfortunate, but that's kind of how it goes. As for articulation, the head does rotate. So now, swivel joint for the shoulder, bicep swivel, 90-degree elbow bend, waist swivel remarkably, but it does kind of work on a similar principle as the older G.I. Joe figures, so you kind of have to be careful there. Ball stem joint for the hips, deep knee bend, and foot tilt. So there is some interesting articulation here. So they were coming up with the idea for what would eventually become Beast Wars a few years onward, but it is rather basic. Now, as for getting a hold of one, well, you're definitely going to have to go online to check a few eBay sellers, especially if you're trying to find one complete. I had to get the robot and the sword separately, but I got them at a fairly decent price. So it is possible to get either Sizzle or the other ones, aside from Electro. F's in the chat for Electro. But it is possible to get the majority of them fairly easily, as well as the laser cycles. Now, as an entry point for Generation 2, this probably isn't going to do it for you. You're probably better off sticking with like the little Matchbox GoBot cars. But for something, if you're looking for something different, well, this is definitely it. Anyway, I am Deceptiwolf. This has been Generation 2 Laser Rod Sizzle. Can I remind you all, free your mind, free your toys.